What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinter Lens content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I got a little bit of a spicy one for you. I know we've done a bunch of bullish videos lately, and I wouldn't necessarily categorize this as a bearish video. In fact, if you guys are looking for gameplay content, since you guys are looking for gameplay content, here's one, right? So I got to say that I haven't needed Rebellion yet, but I figured I might be an outlier. I figured I might be, somebody who just doesn't want to spend any more in the game at the moment, is overexposed, however you want to categorize it, right? I'm going to have a lot of SPS, whatever the case is. All I was trying to say is maybe I'm not the best person to be saying, well, Rebellion isn't really needed at this point in time. So I decided to take a look at the leaderboard, and I'm specifically looking at the champion leaderboard. And there's a reason for this, right? Because sure, at different leagues, could the meta be different, right? Could the meta change? Absolutely. But in less than 10 days, less than 9 days actually, that's going to be irrelevant because people will be able to play cards of any level in any league and therefore rise all the way to the top. So the meta will start to consolidate unless you're really stuck in the middle of a certain league playing only other players in that league. So what I wanted to do is just take a little moment here, and I looked at a couple already. Maybe we'll do a couple more. I'm looking at literally the top players in the game, right? And you can see here, these are the people in Champion right now. So Zaku, XA, D-Dragon, Zowie. We're going to go ahead and look at their battles and see what cards they're using at this point in time. So you can see Zaku here has won a ton of games. Now, what I noticed across the board was that there were not too many, right? Too many, what's that called? Rebellion cards. Now this battle just came in, right? 2 minutes ago. And of course it's put in to prove me wrong, right? So you see 3 Rebellion cards here, Lurking Puffer, whatever this card is and whatever that card is. I don't know the names anymore. But beyond that, right? We go down, you see majority Chaos Legion. And when I say Chaos Legion, I'm talking about the Chaos Legion set, right? So that includes the reward cards, that includes Rift Watchers, and of course the core. So here's the thing. This is probably the only meta that we've heard that is super popular, and you're going to see this many times, right? So the Lily and Grimbardoon Smith. We know Grimbardoon Smith is a huge part of the meta. So, there's one with Grimbardoon Smith and Lurking Puffer. You go below, this is all Chaos. Right here, you got Grimbardoon Smith. You got this guy, I believe he's like the legendary water unit. Here's the Grimbardoon Smith and Lily combo again. Here, you got, I don't even know his name, but the water legendary, right? I believe this is all Chaos set. Here's one in which they used Helheim Demon, but, they lost this one, so I guess we shouldn't really count that. And then if we go a little bit lower, here's something that is all Chaos set as well. Here's another win, all Chaos set. Here's another win, right? So actually, here's something, because I wasn't sure how many we'd see, but here's the first Rebellion Summoner that we're seeing, at least used in a win, right? With Grimbardoon, with Dark Deadblast, another great water legendary card, right? But then we go down here, and I believe this is all Chaos, right? All Chaos once again. This actually has a decent amount, right? Decent amount. So let's look at one more. So I'm going to go back to leaderboard again. We'll look at the second one here, and we'll draw some very basic conclusions, right? But I think you can already tell where I'm going with this. Okay, so let's pull in the battles. All right, so last battle was 2 hours ago. So you can see here, this is all Chaos set, or Chaos, rewards. I believe the only card here is Maripoot Magician, right? You got Lurking Puffer down here, although you also, you also have a Rebellion Summoner, one of the common summoners. This looks like, you got Redworm Hatchling in the mix there. I'm only looking at wins because wins are what matter, right? So if you're losing, then it doesn't really matter because the cards that you picked, aren't there. So here's the Lily, Grimbardoon Smith. Ooh, here's the first rare summoner, and you can tell, Avina is the only one worth value because it's the only one still above $2 right now. I think all the others are like even lower than $1 at this point. And I'm talking about the tactics summoners specifically. So out of all these battles so far, right? Here's all chaos, for example. Here you only you have Dark Dead Blast, you got Endura Brune and Ananth Soothsayer. This might not be a legendary. This might be rare. I don't know all of my cards yet, but this looks like all chaos. This looks like all chaos. This has a nice mix. You got Mantaroth in there, and maybe four of the Rebellion cards. But if you can see the theme that I'm going with here, chaos still very much dominates the set. Are there certain cards that can help you win? Absolutely. I mean, I think Grim Bardoon Smith for sure is going to be one. I think Avina is really the only summoner. But as you can tell, we didn't see any other summoners, right? So these are the top 2 players in the game. And in fact, let's just go to the third one. And again, we're just studying their play habits. We're studying, the fact that they have won a majority of their games. So we'll go to Zowie here, and we'll just scroll down real quick. So what I'm actually looking for is any of the new summoners. So there's Avina once again, right? But I'm looking to see if there's any other either common or rare summoners in the mix. But for the most part, you see a lot of the same names, right? This Dark Dead Blast. Let's see if there's anybody else. Nimbleduke Scout. That's the first time we've seen Nimbleduke Scout. There's another one with Dark, and of course Grim Bardoon Smith, and Smith Lily, and a bunch of other folks. Smith once again. So, okay. So I guess what I'm trying to share with you guys, and again, this is obviously very anecdotal. We're only looking at the top 3 players in the game by leaderboard, right? By ranking. And my point with this is that Rebellion, even for them, isn't needed as much. When you see what their strategy and play style is, it's still very much dominated by Chaos Legion. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who keep calling Rebellion a weak set. And again, I'm not trying to say that I agree or disagree with that statement. But when you look at what all the top players are doing, and I highly recommend, encourage you guys to go and do this even at your specific levels, even though that won't necessarily matter soon, but just so you get an idea of like what people in your league, at the top of your league currently are playing in order to get to the top of silver, gold, or diamond. It's just something to consider. Because when we look at why pack sales have slowed down, when we look at why, potentially there just hasn't been as much of a rush into Chaos Legion, into Rebellion cards. I mean, I'm happy that there's still a decent, there's still a decent arbitrage opportunity, right? There's still a decent delta between the pack value and the pack price on Hive Engine. But this to me is, I'm not trying to raise the alarm, but I do think that it is concerning. And for all of the folks out there who keep, parroting the same, like, oh, Rebellion is a weak set, Rebellion is a weak set. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. When I look at the data like this, I feel as though that is, I feel as though that is going to be a huge kind of talking point for that side of the argument. So, once again, things may change once the airdrops come in. Obviously, Rage is going to be pretty awesome. Hopefully, we know that Kai, the second airdrop, conflict airdrop that's coming through, looks to be quite powerful already. And obviously, the biggest selling points of the set might end up being the legendary summoners, right? Which will all be, hopefully airdropped throughout the rest of the year. Now, the thing is, when we look at Chaos Legion versus, let me put it this way. When we look at Chaos Legion versus Untamed versus Rebellion, let me rephrase that again. When we look at Chaos and Untamed as they were modern versus Chaos and Rebellion as modern, one thing that I noticed was that even the rare summoners for Chaos were more powerful than the rare summoners for Rebellion. For Untamed, right? So I'm talking about the old modern. There were, and again, maybe that was just pure numbers. Like I think it was like 85% of the cards in existence before Rebellion came out were all Chaos Legion anyway. So you were just going to see those around. But even still, when people had access to them, they didn't necessarily play them all the time unless they were the top tier cards, like a Mylar. And Mylar wasn't even part of the core set, right? I'm talking about Untamed with like Mother Kala and I don't even remember, Contessa, right? So all of those like 3-mana cards. What's interesting to me is that as we have introduced tactics, and we were hoping that tactics would be this super powerful thing, you can see from the entire, we'll go back to Zaku again. And again, like I said, I'm looking at this on the fly. I took a brief look earlier, but like Ilthane is a chaos, and I guess this is an epic summoner, but it's still 4 mana with like 1 or 2 ability sets, right? Waka Spirit Blade is in the same boat. Obsidian, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is people are still opting to use the older rare summoners versus the new rare summoners in this current modern format, right? Whereas opposed we didn't necessarily see that before, and you can kind of explain the difference, but I would expect the rare summoners to be much more useful now, and it just doesn't seem like that's the case outside of someone like Avina. So again, I'm just putting this out there. We're drawing some conclusions. Again, I'm not trying to say that Rebellion is a weak set, because obviously Rebellion isn't completely done yet, and there might be some, super awesome chase cards that come out through the airdrops, or there might be, certain synergies that and combos that have not really been explored and uncovered yet. Although, we are over 2 months into Rebellion's launch, so I would assume we've probably gotten a decent amount of them, but I don't know. I just want to get your thoughts on this. So let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.